Okay, look, I have said that I am not going to get, well, I'm going to try not to. Whenever I make rules about how I want to do things, I like to immediately think about how I break my own rule. Because, and if you talk to anybody who knows me well, I try, this is the operative word, I try not to live my life according to absolutes. Now, that in itself is an absolute. I see the irony. However, I feel like I need to do at least do this topic once. And even though I don't want to talk about specific people, I'm going to do that here today. It's for a reason. This particular person, you'll know who who it is. You know what? I'm going to talk about this person and not even mention the person's name, but you will totally know who I'm talking about. Breaking my own rule here. I'm talking about the President of the United States. Yes, that's right. I am not going to say his name. I don't want that name in any kind of algorithm that refers to this video. And I don't want to talk about him. I don't care about his own personal shit. I don't care about his businesses. I don't care about his family. I don't care about his tax returns. I don't care about his money. I am just talking about his motives and what he's done. Accomplishments, you can say. I mean, good or bad, whatever. So let's talk about the president, the current president. And let's talk about fraud and the so-called elections that we just had. Okay. Now, back in 2016, I did not vote. I had not voted since 2004. And like I said, in 2004, it was an anti-vote. I was just voting against the current president. That's the situation we're put in this country these days, is you've got two choices and they're both bad. 2008, 2012 could not be more true. Those were the worst choices for president maybe ever. Maybe ever. Ouch. Worse than 2000. Worse than 2004. I don't know. They seem to get worse and worse. And then in 2016, a candidate comes along and he seems different. He's not reading from a script, or at least not the kind of script that all the rest of the other politicians are reading from. He seems to be off the cuff. He seems to just say what he means and means what he says. I kind of like that. He pissed off the kind of people that pissed me off. So I kind of like that. But he's still part of a main political party. He's still, he's still part of the system. And I made this analogy earlier today. My neighbor needed a ride to the store, and he happened to bring up the election, and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, that's some bullshit. I was like, it's a giant soap opera. I was like, and it's supposed to distract us from what's really important, and that's all of this just unmitigated authoritarianism that's just unraveling in this world. You know, the COVID round 2 is coming through right now, and, you know, there's scary shit here in America and even scarier shit in other countries. And it's all just an attempt for control. And this whole election thing, it's all just distraction. It's all game. It's all a game. And the game is to keep you from looking where you're supposed to be looking. You know, I took magic when I was a kid. Like, I took classes to learn how to do sleight of hand magic. And, sleight of hand, that's your, you should be watching this hand and you're watching this hand. That's the whole world. That's everything. This presidential blah, 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 blah doesn't really mean anything. It's all designed to either keep you in fear or to keep you cheerleading. Well, one way or another, it's designed to make you tribal. It's designed to create dualistic thinking within your mind, where every choice becomes A or B, 1 or 2, true or false. There's no C or D. There's no other choices. Your choices become binary. And when you whittle choices down to just two and you control the outcome of both of those choices, then there really are zero choices. Not even just one, there's zero. Think about that for a minute. I'll wait. Yeah, okay, so. When I was talking to my buddy earlier, I was telling him, I was like, they're all snakes. And I'm not saying that in like a David Icke kind of like reptile person way. Though I have to point out, I definitely like and listen to a lot of what David Icke has to say. I mean, I like to take all the data and then form my own opinion. I don't like to cut anybody off. I'll even watch really horrible shit on cable news networks, just to have that data. I'm not saying that I push it into my brain as if it's truth, because what is true? Truth, whatever. But David Icke talks about lizard people, and I was telling my friend, I was like, maybe he means it literally. I don't know. I'm not going to assume about him. That dude has definitely been on some crazy trips and seen stuff that he's seen stuff I don't ever want to see, frankly. With some of the horrible shit that he talks about, I don't know where he's digging this stuff up, but I don't know why he keeps digging. But if I was digging up the kind of shit that he talks about, I would stop digging. I would just go and live in the woods somewhere by myself. And that's my plan, eventually. So, David Icke talks about, again, here, now I'm talking about people instead of ideas. I really wish I hadn't done that. But anyway, let's just talk about lizard people. Lizard people, I don't think that that's referring to a different species or Anunnaki or any of this other crap. I think that these lizard people are far too human. And, let's just go back to one of my favorite things to talk about is how adaptive people are. People adapt to their situations. When people are put into cushy situations where empathy is looked at as a weakness and cruelty is looked at as a strength, and you do this for generation after generation, and you throw in massive amounts of greed and fraud and all this other stuff on top of it, yeah, you're going to get lizard people. And by lizard people, I mean, one of the flaws of humans is that there's about 2% of us that don't respond to empathy. And this is really dangerous. I think empathy is what really separates us from the animals. It's what allows us to work in groups. It's what allows us to take our gigantic brains and kind of network them and make our gigantic brains into even more gigantic brains. And this is how we've conquered nature and conquered all kinds of huge problems. And it's how we've pushed ourselves away from the other animals. The other animals that could even begin to think about evolving into competition for us are all the ones that work in groups. And this is really important. But this can also be undermined really easily. Anyway, I feel like these lizard people they've evolved and adapted to having their heart, essentially, if you want to go head versus heart, they've had their hearts removed and they don't feel anymore. And when they do feel, it's been manipulated to a point where they respond positively to all of the bad stuff. And, whatever. I'm not that big into modern medicine or any of that stuff, and I don't like things being categorized. Like I said, humans are so adaptive that calling someone one thing and saying someone has this disease, especially if it's a mental disorder, to say that they're like that forever and ever and ever, I think is a huge mistake, because I feel like, at least in our minds, we're evolving and changing every single moment of every single day. That's what life is adaptation. But I think these people that are in charge, they've pushed their way in charge because they don't care. And because they're really good at pretending like they do. They know how to push buttons. They know how to manipulate. and they don't feel any guilt about it. Now, this is super dangerous. It's interesting. There was watch me go on some more tangents here. There was a TV show, which I can't quite remember off the top of my head. I wouldn't mention it by name anyway, and you might know what I'm talking about by me describing it. The premise of the show was that 2%, I think it was 2%, it might have even been 1%, but a small percentage of everybody on Earth just disappeared in a moment. Babies and baby carriages disappeared. People driving cars disappeared. People flying airplanes disappeared. People just sleeping in their beds at home disappeared. And it wasn't a lot of people. I mean, not comparatively. It was, I think it was 2%. It was 2% of people. And these people were seemingly, I didn't watch enough of the show to find out. It was actually kind of boring. The reason I'm mentioning it, and I'll get to, these people were seemingly random. There was no rhyme or reason as to who disappeared. And as far as I know, they never explained why they disappeared, which kind of seems like the whole point of a show like that. But anyway, shows are not really so much to entertain. They're there to program, and program they do. But the reason I mentioned this program is because I remember watching I watched an episode or two. I remember watching one of these first episodes, and it occurred to me, I was like, man, this would be a really interesting show if you twist it just a little bit. What if the 2% of people that disappeared were all the so-called sociopaths? And they figured that's about the percentage of the people, without diagnosing them, we'll just say people that lack empathy. People that lack the ability to feel what other people feel. People that lack the ability to network with other brains in a positive, uplifting way. Their networking is a hack. Their networking is meant to overcome and destroy. And ultimately, is that a benefit for humanity, or is it? I mean, a lot of those people have probably been world builders, and coming full circle back to the president of the country, I'm pretty sure he's one of these 2%ers too, one of these lizard brains. But the point I was making to my neighbor friend earlier, I was like, yeah, this guy's a snake. Sure, he's a snake. I mean, you kind of have to be a snake to accumulate all that wealth and to have that kind of personality, and to be popular in the world of entertainment, and to foment so much anger and to create such a divide in people, and to have you be used by a media that's all propaganda as a tool and still do it all with a smile. Yeah, you kind of have to be one of these little reptile minds. And my whole point to him was, I was like, yeah, he's a snake. But the story that they're telling us right now is that he's a king snake. All these other snakes, they want to eat mice. And we're the mice, the regular people, the soft people with hearts that care and love and want a better world. We're the mice. And these snakes, they pretend that they're mice, but all they want to do is eat us. Not literally, y'all. Although maybe, I don't know. That's a whole nother conspiracy for a whole nother video. We can talk about that later, but let's just assume that I'm not being literal. I'm just being figurative. But I think that the president is a king snake, and he doesn't care about eating mice. He wants to eat other snakes. Well, I've been thinking about this, and I've been thinking about this for the last 4 years, and I kind of like that, because he's so busy worried about eating other snakes. I mean, according to the story, again, whatever's going on in this world, it's all a plan, and they don't even reveal the plan to us until it's already underway, until they're already doing it, and then they act out of hubris. And I mean, the president right now is essentially 100% hubris. And the media right now is essentially 100% hubris. And that hubris is expressed with the level of bullshit. Oh my God. Even in the attempt to expose so-called truths or untruths or whatever, it's all so steeped in hubris. It's like they're rubbing our noses in it right now. You know, whether you like the president or not, you're getting your fucking nose rubbed in it. Holy shit. And what are they doing in the background while all this distraction is going on? What are they doing to us? Well, they're doing whatever we let them do. And frankly, I live my life on the outskirts. You know, if my YouTube channel overnight blew up and I had 500,000 subscribers and I had millions of people talking about what I'm talking about, it would probably be dangerous for me. It would probably make me regret putting these ideas out there. And we'll see what happens as the future goes along. My plan is to put enough of this stuff out there that by the time people notice it, I can disappear off into my own little world and the ideas can keep going on forever and ever. You know, I'm making this video here at the end of November in 2020, but now that it's going to be digital bits that are out in the world, in the universe, once I upload them, you know, they can exist for decades or hundreds of years or millennia, potentially. And, you know, that's why I'm doing this. I'm sending a message to 100 years in the future. You know, forget having 10,000 people watch my view as soon as forget 10,000 people view my post as soon as I put it up. I don't care about that. I mean, yeah, that would be nice for my ego, but I don't know how useful it would be for history. What am I talking about? Nonsense. I'm already letting my ego kind of express itself here. And I'm trying to make this process something where I'm getting that out of my system, not trying to build it up, y'all. I'm trying to be the opposite of what our president is. Our present president. Man, now I am just stumbling. I think I'm done with this video. I'm not quite sure what the point was here, but I think you understand anyway. I'm trying to get better at this stuff. I'm definitely getting more used to talking to the little center of this camera here, as if there were other people on the other side. And I love you people. Even if there's only 2 or 3 of you watching my video right now, it makes it worth it for me to have anybody be able to interact with me. I just got a couple of comments on one of my videos the other day, and it tickled me. I loved it. I want more of that. I want to turn this into conversation. See, that's what I want to happen in the present. I just want a nice little community of people that I can talk to and share ideas with and expand upon and have people suggest new ideas for me to talk about. And just, you know, I'm a data junkie. Give me some more data, please. I'm already, as you can see, overfilled with data, but I can't get enough. It's all added together into this worldview. And I'm trying to make it better and better. I'm trying to hone what I'm talking about here. And I hope I'm getting through. We'll see what happens going forward. Look, I love you. And I mean it. And we're going to get through this together, y'all. President or not. Until next time.